Okay, everyone, welcome to our new consultant training and welcome to all of you who are new consultants on our team. I will tell you guys that you are in the right place at the right time. This business in general is exploding, but our team is exploding as well. And we are one of the top teams in the country. So again, you are just literally with the cream of the crop, the best of the best. And you guys should be super excited about that, because one of the things that's super helpful when you're starting a business like this is to ensure that you have support. And that is something that you will notice across the board with our team is the support is amongst all of our team members. We all work together to ensure your success. So I think I just actually shared the wrong thing. So let me reshare here. Yeah, wrong screen. Okay. Here we go. Okay, let me know if you see on my screen, new consultant training, May 2023. Somebody can give me just a thumbs up. And if you can stay live so I can see your face, because this is a bit interactive, that is super, super helpful. Okay, so give me a thumbs up if you see the screen. It should say May. Okay, perfect. May new consultant training. Okay, so just to quickly introduce myself, my name's Lorraine, and I've been with Pampered Chef now on and off for 20 years. I decided to get started with Pampered Chef back in 1998 because I was looking for a way to stay home with my then 3-month-old and 5-year-old. They're now 31, 26, and 20. So time is certainly passed us by very quickly, and this business has just amazingly weaved in and out of my life beautifully over the past 20 years. I decided to come back to Pampered Chef about 3.5 years ago, or actually 3 years ago. I was encouraged, convinced, asked probably 10 times to come back. I kept saying, no, this is not the right time, not the right time. But my recruiter was very persistent, thankfully. And had she not been, I probably wouldn't have, and maybe I wouldn't even be here today. So I look at that as a kind of a lesson learned, in the sense of, even if you've asked a person once, twice, 3 times, and they continue to tell you no, it's very possible that they will end up booking a party or becoming a consultant. I am proof of that. And she said, I was not giving up on you. So she believed in me before I really kind of believed in myself when it came to coming back, especially during the time of COVID. So we have a remarkable team. There's about 200 consultants on our direct team. Our national executive director is Stacy Itzel. She has about 3,500 consultants on her team. So we are actually one of, well, we're the top team in some categories, but one of the top team in all categories. So again, you guys are in the right place. We have all of the systems, all the processes in place for you to literally step into your business and be successful. The only thing you have to do is follow the process. And that is truly it. The business is so automated these days that it makes everything so much easier. For those of you that may have remembered our home parties that we used to do, we actually pull in a facet of the home parties by doing small videos, TikToks, clips, reels, all kinds of different things, which are all not required, but really provide a level of authenticity for your parties. So today we're going to actually cover a few of the steps in a process that we call the 7 steps to fast track success. Ultimately, we want to help you achieve exactly what you're looking for. Let's face it, none of us come to this business to say, hey, if I'm kind of successful, or if I make a couple dollars here and there, that's great. Most of us come with the intention that we want to do well, right? We don't try something new like this if we're just kind of mediocre about it. We want to give it a go. We want to give it our best effort. And again, we have everything that you need to step right into your business and literally make a paycheck in 2 weeks from now. And that's how simple it is. So today we're going to cover, again, some of the steps in the 7 steps to fast track success. And that is our simple agenda today, is to cover some of those pieces of the 7 steps. Your director we'll be covering other steps with you, and hopefully you had the chance to go over steps 1 and 2 of the 7 steps. I'm just going to show you what they look like, just in case. I know I signed a consultant today. She didn't have time to go through it, so she's going to be just looking at it brand new, just like you. But if you haven't gone through the first 2 steps and the first 2 classes in Dash, that is your like to do item really, if you can this evening or first thing tomorrow. So remember we had said, take out a sheet of paper. Your first to do items would be to go through steps 1 and 2. Will literally take you about 20 minutes to get through steps 1 and 2. We're going to give you the document tonight if you don't already have it. And then also to go through Dash, the first 2 classes in Dash. One of them is called Welcome and the other module is called Getting Started. So those are the 2 that you want to be part of. So somebody, I can hear a bunch of background noise. If you could just press mute because we're recording this. Here we go. Okay, perfect. I think we got it taken care of. Awesome. Okay, so let's move on to the very first part of this process. So this is not the full image because I don't think I can get the whole image on here, but I think you'll get the general idea. Okay, so how many of you, just a quick raise of hands, have already seen this document? Okay, Katie, Amber, great. Okay, so when you hop off the call today, if you haven't taken the first step and the second step, that's what you want to do. Every time you see a little line with a blue line or a blue highlight, that is a hyperlink. That means that there is something behind that that you need to open. So the first one basically says, this is a Google Doc training. So if you're familiar with Google Docs, you can just skip right over that, to be completely honest. However, there is another piece embedded in that same section, and you'll notice it here. It says download the Boards app. It's free. So that's going to be your next to-do item. You want to download the Boards app. It's applicable for iOS as well as Android, and you can, again, use it on either platform. And it's also web-based. So once you have it on your phone, then you can have it as a web-based application. So if you have a laptop computer, you can put it there. So that literally covers step 1. Boards is actually a super, super easy, convenient, literal push of a button into your parties, push of a button into your host. It's a simple process. It's basically like copy, paste, and all at your fingertips. So whether you're at the ball game, you're in the bank line, you can easily get a little bit of your work done if you need to, which is the beauty of a Pampered Chef business. You don't have to be tied down to an office. If you have a phone, you have a business, and that's how simple it is with our company. So step 1 is covered. Boards takes about 5 minutes to understand, and then to learn takes a couple tries, and then all of a sudden you got it. And it's, again, copy paste pretty much everything. Then behind step 2, there are about 3 or 4 tasks, super simple 1-minute tasks. And then there's a 16-minute video, and that's Stacy Itzel welcoming you to Pampered Chef and telling you all the reasons on kind of what needs to be done first, how to get bookings, how to actually get that cemented in your party, and how to really get off to a quick, strong start. But it's a short 16-minute video. So after today, you want to go ahead and make sure you cover those 2 steps. Today, we're going to talk about mainly step 3, but also step 4. And then later in the next week or so, we'll, your recruiter or myself, one of us, will take you through step 5 through 7, as well as the other resources. But what you're going to find as you dive into this document, you're going to naturally go to step 5, naturally go to step 6, and so on. So let me click here, because for some reason that came up here for some weird reason. Okay, so the next thing that you want to do is on your to-do list, if you haven't had a 30-minute phone call with your director, that needs to be done in the next 24 hours. So you want to reach out to your director, whether it's Karen, whether it's Carol, whether it's Lori, whoever the director is, reach out to them and say, I need my 30-minute phone call with you. They'll know exactly what you're referencing. And some of you may have already had that. Some of you may not have had time yet, just due to the quickness of you signing up. So that's another to do. That 30-minute phone call is actually going to walk you through several super important steps that are going to encompass you getting paid. So we want to make sure that you get that covered with your recruiter. So put that on your to-do list if you haven't had your 30-minute phone call with them. So step 1 looks just like this. This is kind of a broken down step 1. As I mentioned, it's Google Docs and it's Boards. Once you know those 2 programs, you're done and you're moving on to the next step. Step 2, as I mentioned, is all about getting started. It will take you about 20 minutes to get through the video plus the tasks. So it's a quick in and out type of process with that. Step 2, kind of broken down, shows you exactly what's behind step 2. So when we click this button up here, step 2, it's going to open us up to this. So this is what it's going to look like. It's simply your recruiter is going to add you to several team pages. It's letting you know that every Monday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, we have a call with our National Executive Director. Quick 5 things to do here, which is about getting paid. And then the next part of here is welcome to the Pampered Chef with Stacy, a 16-minute video. And we already had our action item. Our action item is to schedule your call with your director, literally if you can tomorrow, unless you've already had it. Okay, so let's move on to where we want to put our focus today. Today is all about building your business and allowing you to see how easy this process is, so you can literally step out of this call today and potentially get a party tonight. That's how simple this is. So this is what step 3 looks like. Step 3 is going to be booking your first parties. We're going to talk about a strong and, we're going to talk about a strong start and how to earn fast track rewards. We're going to talk about the 3 ways that you can party, actually 4, that you can party with Pampered Chef. There's a 6-minute booking video that you'll want to take. And then you'll also, at the end of the class today, matter of fact, I'll just put it in there right now, you're going to get what is called a show-based tracker. And you won't be able to edit this document, but you will be able to copy it and make it your own. Now, some of you may have already had your recruiter who has already taken care of this for you. If they haven't, no big deal, because again, you may have just gotten started in the last 24 hours or so. What just happened there? Let's go back. There we go. Okay, so this got out of line a little bit. So here's the show-based tracker, and I'm going to show you what this looks like. This is a document that you are going to share with your recruiter and your director. The reason that this is such a valuable tool is it's going to do a couple of things. It's going to help us get things real relatable and real personable. Instead of us saying, hey, Katie, who did you talk to today? Oh, I talked to my sister, my friend, my mother-in-law, whatever the case is. Instead, we can say, oh, I see you talked to your sister who's Susie and your mother-in-law who's Kate, and yada, yada, yada. So we're going to be able to have a real personalized conversation versus just a general conversation. So give me a thumbs up if you can see what's on my screen. It should show like pink, green, yellow. Cool. Okay. So what your recruiter is going to be doing is they're going to be walking you through. This is the 30-minute phone call that they're going to walk you through. They're going to find out a little bit about you. They're going to talk to you about your 30-day, your 60-day, your 90-day, your 180-day, and they're going to talk to you about your Facebook friends. They're going to kind of just get a general idea of about you and what you're looking for, because we, again, want to help you achieve what you're looking for. So we're going to, your recruiter is going to walk you through all of these quick questions. Now at the bottom here, it kind of gives you some reference points, because we wanted to make this as easy as possible. So everything, again, is in one place at your fingertips. So for an example, if you say, I think I set up direct deposit, but I'm not sure, right? So it says here, direct deposit order payment information. You can find that location in Dash. If you're ready to build your business page on Facebook, it's in Dash. If you want to get ready to set up Post My Party, which helps us automate our business, it's going to be in step 4 of the 7 steps. So we're going to tell you basically where everything is, so it makes it easier for you to be able to locate and find things. There's a quick tip. You guys probably know this, but if you hit Control F, Control F means control find. So basically what Control F is going to do, it's going to navigate through this document and it's going to tell you what you're looking for. So let's say I wanted to look for Consultant's Corner. Okay, you can type in the word CON and it's going to say, oh, okay, there's 3 things in this document that start or have the word CON in it. So it initially highlights. So here we are. So if I want to figure out how to get parties, adding them to Consultant's Corner, I'm going to hit that button. Let's say I want to find out stuff about PMP. PMP is Post My Party. Here again, it highlights it. So Control F is going to be a very valuable tool in really any platform of documents that you use, especially wordy ones, because it sometimes can be hard to find. Now, on the other side of this document, you're going to see acronyms, because we use a lot of acronyms in this business. And actually, I just figured out another one we use. We use one called PMP, which is Post. And this is a buildable document, so you might see this changing as time goes on, but we want to try to make this the best it can for you guys. So Post My Party is PMP. RR is Read Rockstar. RRB is Read Rockstar Board. RRC is Read Rockstar Chat. So you're going to see a lot of these acronyms because we type them over and over and over again. We also have all of your resource documents here. So your 7 steps to fast track success, what we're looking at right now is right here. Boards, learning boards, the free app is right here. Getting our Read Rockstar board is right here. So we're going to, again, put as much at your fingertips for you as remotely possible. And then at the bottom here, this is also going to be super, super helpful when it comes to organization. One of the biggest things we find is that consultants say, I want to do this, but I feel so disorganized. So we decided to create this one compact document where everything was located in the same spot. Now, there obviously are links taking you to other locations, but this will be the spot that will have pretty much all that you need. So this document is going to be shared with you, it's going to be shared with your recruiter, and it's also going to be shared with your director. So at any time we can say, okay, Amber, let's take a look at your potential host list. And this is where we're going to find it. Let's take a look at everybody that's on your recruiting tracker. Here it is. Let's take a look at what your team structure looks like today. Here it is. Or let's say we want to go straight back to the new consultant tracker. Here it is. So again, everything's going to be right at your fingertips so we can help you build your business and to help you feel confident about where to locate everything. So that document will be continually built, but for now, that's what everyone is going to get, and it's right here. But it's possible that your recruiter has already created one for you and that she just needs to share it with you. So you may want to check in with her to see if she has already done that. So in step 3, again, 3 ways to party. Again, actually there's 4, so that needs to be corrected. Your show-based tracker, you're also going to have these words. These are the words that work, the words that you're going to use to get your parties. Now, I will tell you, the temptation oftentimes is, I'm going to just put my words together. I'm going to give you a big, huge Family Feud X. Do not do that. This is tried and true. The words may not be incredibly comfortable. They weren't for me, but my recruiter was like, use them anyway. And if they don't work, then create your own. And the fact of the matter is, they do. The wheel has been established. Don't recreate it. We know these words work. They're used by over 3,500 consultants. Again, if you want to change a little here and a little there, great, but don't change the content because you just might kind of, you know, what do they say? Like, kind of like, oh, what's the word for it? I can't think of the whole saying where it's like, kind of like, you're kind of like knocking yourself out of your own game if you change up too many things. So just kind of keep with the content that we already have established. We also have not only the original words, but also the follow-up words, because everything we do in this business, everything you do in sales is always about the follow-up. You think about a car salesman. Does a car salesman think he or she is going to make the first sale every single time? Absolutely not. Real estate agents, do they think they're going to sell a house to every single person who inquires? Absolutely not. But what they have to do is they have to show it, they have to sell it to the person, and then the person has to kind of buy into it. And it's the same thing for us. When we're sharing this information with our friends, it's kind of like an out of the blue thing, right? They might not even know you're a consultant, and you're sending this information to them like, hey, I just became a consultant. I'm trying to book a full schedule for my first 2 weeks of business. Would you be willing to help me? You're going to have a lot of friends that are going to say yes, but you're going to have some friends who are going to look at it and may not respond. And you might think, oh, they're not interested. Again, big, huge Family Feud X. That's not what it is. Oftentimes what happens is people will see a message, they'll check it, they're busy, and they forget to respond. 99% of the time, that is what happens. So we'll talk more about that as we navigate through. But when you make your list on this show-based tracker under bookings, then you'll start using these words. So we're going to talk more about these words, and we're also going to talk about the reason we suggest 4 parties per week. So 4 parties a week is totally about working smarter, not harder. And you want to try to get your first 8 parties, but definitely your first 4 parties in different circles of people. So for an example, I just had a party, I don't know, maybe like a month ago, and 12 bookings came from that party. And I wasn't even thinking, I literally stacked 4 or 5 of them in the same week. which was really not smart, right? Because it's going to be some of the similar people. So if you get a huge party like that, you want to try to do a couple in one week, a couple in the next week, and so on. So if you have everybody in the same week, you know, again, people are going to invite all different kinds of people, but if you have the same group, you're going to keep rolling in that same group. And the idea is to start with your friends, but it's really not who you know, it's who your friends know. And that's how your circle goes way beyond. Like sometimes consultants think, well, I don't think I can get beyond my immediate circle of friends and family. Like, I don't want to keep asking them every couple of weeks. And you won't. If you follow the process that we have in place, you'll likely use your friends once, maybe 6 months later, because they want to rebook, or a year later. But I don't know anybody that I'm working with at this point in time prior to maybe 2 weeks ago. And that's how the business goes. So if you follow the process, that's exactly what you're going to start to experience right from the start. So step 3 is about this booking flow chart. And this is a genius idea that was created by Stacy and her team.
I'm not sure I understand.
She gets in my business a little too much these days. I don't know if you guys have an iWatch, but all of a sudden, like in the last month, all of a sudden she just jumps into my conversations. How many of you have that situation going on? Anybody? Oh my gosh, I was talking to somebody yesterday and the same thing happened to them. So I don't know what's up with that. But anyway, okay, so this is where we want to take some serious action, because this is where we're going to have exponential growth if you follow this process. So this video here is about 5 minutes long, and it's basically teaching you a little bit about the flow chart and the reasons on why we use this. So if you click this link in the 7 steps, this is step 3. You're going to find a list of different words to use. We give you 3 different sets, and you're going to find the set that you feel the most comfortable with. The first set of words, my director's like, use those words. They work like a champion. And I'm like, ugh, I'm not comfortable with the words, right? And let me see if I pulled them out. Oh, I didn't. But the first set of words say the word guinea pig. It's like, will you be my guinea pig? Will you help me get started by being my guinea pig? And I'm like, Stacy, I don't know about these words. Like, I don't know if I can do it. She's like, just do it, right? She knows that's how I want to be coached, just like straight shooter. So I said, okay, you know what? She's super, super successful. If I can be moderately successful in comparison to her, I'm just going to follow her plan and I'm going to follow it to the T. And that's what I did. And I messaged about 15, 20 people the first night, 15, 20 people the next night. And she's like, Lorraine, you really want to shoot for 30 people a night for 5 days in a row. I'm like, okay, got it. And that's what I kind of set out to do. And literally within 2 days, I had 12 parties on my schedule. And that's not even a whole lot. Like, I just had a new consultant start a couple of weeks ago, and she did exactly what I'm encouraging you to do. She had 22 parties in 2 days. So it's just a matter of working the program that we have set up for you. So the first set of words talked about this whole guinea pig thing, right? So I sent it out, and it's funny. 8 out of my 12 friends were like, of course I'll be your guinea pig. Of course I'll help you. I'd love to be your guinea pig. And I was like, okay, little humble pie there. She was right. So just use the words, don't change them. They totally, totally work. So in this first block here, you're going to find your first set of words. Okay. So you want to get off the phone tonight. You want to make your list of 30 people and just boom, 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 those messages out. It's literally copy paste. So if I was sending messages to you guys, I would say Carol, message, Joy, message, Katie, message, Coley, message, Lorraine, message, 6 messages, done. So when I was finishing up work today, the systems that we have in place with boards, literally, as I said, is like a copy paste, right? So my time is limited just like your time. I work a full-time job plus do Pampered Chef. And so I have to make 30 reach outs every single day, no fail, because it's just what I've decided to do. So every day at 3 p.m., as soon as I get off work, my alarm goes off. I do my 30 reach outs, and I've gotten it down to a science now where 30 reach outs take 15 minutes. And so once you start getting used to the way the process works, that's how quick it is. So it doesn't take any time at all. So then this is what happens next. So you send out your 30 messages, and you're going to have a couple things that happen. And I want you to write this down, because I like to set the expectations, because I want you to know exactly what to expect. And knowing those expectations will make you feel more comfortable. So when you reach out to 30 people, you are going to have approximately, so if you write the number 30 down, and then you write the number 15 down, 15 people are likely to look at the message and not respond. Okay, remember, those are the people changing a baby's diaper, making dinner, in the line at Walmart, on the ball field with their kids. They checked it, but they don't have time to respond. So never take that as they're not interested, because that's rarely the case. Guess what happens? If they're not interested, they are going to say, no, thank you, right? They're not going to just ignore you. If they're not really interested, they're going to tell you no, thank you. And that's okay. Those are the perfect people to invite them to a launch party that you're having, or a shared rewards party that you're having, which your recruiter will go over. So first use the words, and then you're going to have your first 15 that are going to look at it, but not respond. Then you're going to have about 10 who will say, no, thank you. Or they're going to say, no, but. And when they say no, but, I'm like, yes, because no, but means if you solve my but, I will book a party. And I'm telling you guys, it works every single solitary day, every day. Every day I'm in this document, and I'll show you just to kind of prove that I am. This is my computer screen, and you see here, this says step 3 booking words. I need to have it bookmarked because I need the words to be out like that, as easy as it can be. Or you'll see here boards. Boards is sitting here, so I can either use boards, or I can literally go into the document and retrieve that and use that as I choose. So let's say they say no. So if they say no, you're just going to go down this tube. You're going to click this link, and it's going to give you several phrases on how to potentially get that no, solidify that it's actually a no, never, or just a no, not right now. Because few people are no, never. Many people are no, not right now. And no, not right now could mean a month from now. It could mean 6 weeks from now. It could mean 6 months from now. So never assume, because you don't know what no, not now means. I mean, honestly, like a safe assumption, I would think six months down the road, but I just booked a party with somebody yesterday who said, no, the timing is not right. And I said, well, what if I catch back up with you in like 2 or 3 weeks? She's like, well, actually I could probably book a party in 2 or 3 weeks. And I'm like, well, I was thinking, September. So it's normal for us to think that, but we really shouldn't assume, because we don't know until we ask them. So you're going to get some no's, and there's your answers for the no's. Then you're going to get some people that do not respond. And this is where the fortune comes. The fortune is in our follow-up. So let's pull this document back over, and let's look at the booking tracker. So the booking tracker, sorry, I just put these dates on here. They don't need to be here. The booking tracker is simply this: your potential host, if there was a past host, meaning maybe you had a party and somebody booked, what they ended up saying, yes, no, maybe, how you reached out to them, text or Facebook, maybe email, and then reach out one. If you made their very first reach out, that would be today's date. And then 2 days later, you're going to follow up with them if you haven't heard from them. 1 day later, after this day, you're going to make your second follow-up. And 1 day later after that, you're going to make your third follow-up. So we do 1 reach out and 3 follow-ups. And guys, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, she was right. When you start making that second and third follow-up, that's where most of my bookings come from, is the second, the third, and sometimes even the 4th follow-up. And many of us directors will tell you that oftentimes it's those latter follow-ups that yield the best results. So Stacy says, not in a snarky way, but certainly a serious way, if you don't plan to follow up, it's almost not even the best idea to make the first reach out, because the first reach out is a very, very small percentage of success. Remember, we just reached out to 30 people, and we're only going to have 3 of them that say yes. But when you reach out to them the second time, the third time, now let me just clear it up. They're not saying on the first reach out, they're not responding back saying, hey, no, Katie, I'm not interested. And you keep following up. They haven't responded. So we're going to keep following up. There's a couple things that happen. Facebook has limitations on how many people you can reach out to. Facebook has limitations on if the person even got the message. Oftentimes by the 3rd message, they're coming to me and they're like, oh my gosh, Lorraine, I'm so sorry. I thought I responded to you. I saw the message, or I didn't see the message. I didn't even know you messaged me. There's a variety of reasons and thoughts. We don't know all the reasons. We're playing in Facebook world, so we have to follow their rules, and they change them, on the dime. So the follow-ups always secure our success. So you always want to use some sort of tracker. We recommend the one we have here, so everything is in one spot to keep track of everything that you're doing. So when you get a no but, This is the fun part, in my opinion. When they say, no, I'm so busy, you're like, great. Don't try to make up words, because I'm not going to say your words don't work, but these words do work. Okay. So making up words takes way too much time. Instead, I'm just going to click this document. I'm going to open up this step, and then I'm going to simply click, they said no because. Okay. So I'm going to click this. It's going to open up, and it's going to give me all of the reasons that people will say no because. Okay. So I don't need any products. I don't have parties because. I never have successful parties. My friends don't have any money. I don't have any time. So a lot of times that's what I'll get. I don't have time. So I'll literally go like this. Copy, paste, done. And then oftentimes they book. So these words work all the time. So you want to make sure that you are using this document, because really it is the key to making this business happen. So where did my document just go? Hold on. I knew I shouldn't have probably done that. All right. This happens sometimes. Where did we go? All right. Let's go back here. We just talked about this, how terrible this is. And it happened again. So let's see, maybe I can find it in recent. Here we go. All right, let's get further to the bottom here. Okay, so just remember, out of 30 people that you're going to reach out to, 15 are not going to, they're going to look at the message and not respond. You're going to have 10 that are likely to say no, but, and then you're going to have 3 to 5 that say yes. So that is kind of the scenario that you're going to experience as you walk through this reach out process. So super simple, super easy. Just follow this flow chart, booking flow chart, and you will be on your way to success. We also have one for recruiting as well, which we will talk about at a later time. Okay, so let's take some action here. These are some of the reminders that I want to make sure that are on your to-do list or the take action list. One is to make sure that you set up your launch party with your director. Now, if you've just had a party in the last couple of days, last couple of weeks, your recruiter will offer you a plan B, which is typically a shared rewards party. So that will be an option between you and your recruiter. Second is use the words in step 3. Step 3 is all about booking your parties, the words, the yes, the maybes, the non-responders, all of that is there for you. And then you want to make sure that you're reaching out to at least 30 people, but no more than 50 in a 24-hour period. So that's actually a really good thing to understand. So Facebook has a 24-hour cycle. So if you reach out to people at 7 o'clock tonight, your clock ticks until 7 o'clock tomorrow. So you don't want to go back in and do 30 to 50 more reach outs if your 24 hours hasn't gone through yet, because you could get into a Facebook jail situation. And we're trying to mitigate that for you by kind of encouraging you to stay around 30 to 50 in the 24-hour period. Most people can make that happen. So that's going to be the recommendation. And that's why for me, 3 o'clock is like that buzz time for me. It's when my work is over and I can make the effort to do those 30 reach outs. And then I always use my reach out tracker, which is that Showbase tracker that I shared with you. So you can keep track of everything. And then you won't have to wonder, when I connected with Susie, what did she say? Did she ask me to call her back later? Well, I shouldn't even use the word call, but message her back later, because we don't call anybody these days. It works out to be. And then the results are going to be when you do your 30 reach outs 5 days in a row, these are going to be your results. And this is what I was talking to somebody else about this yesterday, and they said, you know, I can tell that you love your business. And I said, you know what, it's actually very, very systematic. And it's one of those things that I love because it's almost infallible. Like, let's say that you were going to be obviously a doctor or a lawyer or something with, you know, some more technical knowledge or what have you. There are variables on how your success will be. There's metrics and there's reasons and there's causes and so on. But with sales, it's pretty cut and dry. It's literally, if you reach out to enough people, you're going to get what you want. I always tell my team that if you work the numbers work for you. And it sounds so simple because it is so simple. So whenever I look at my personal calendar, if I don't have the number of parties I want per week, there's one reason why I don't. And it's because I haven't reached out to enough people. And so I have to take accountability for that. And then I have to kind of, you know, pull up my pants and say, let's go, Lorraine, let's get back on this reach out cycle, because we're human. We all, skip a day here or there, but I try to be as consistent as possible, because that's really the key to success as well. So you do 30 reach outs. As I said, 15 or so people are not going to see it. That's where your follow-up comes into place. 10 will respond, typically with a no or a no because. Use step 3 of the words, so you'll know exactly what to say when they say no because. And every 30 reach outs is 3 to 5 bookings. So here's the end math. 150 reach outs in 5 days. So we have Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. If you take this method and you work it 5 days in a row, you will have 20 to 25 parties by Saturday. So if that gets you excited, great, because I'm going to show you in a moment what that actually means for your finances, and it's big time. So here's the deal. You want to try to book in as many parties as you can, as close as you can. So let's say, for example, today's the 9th, and you're like, okay, I'm going to hop off this call and I'm going to do 30 reach outs. So logically, you might be thinking, okay, I probably should book those parties for the 19th, right? But actually, why not the 12th? Right? We're right on top of the 12th. Your recruiter will likely have to help you get things set up, but that's okay, because the quicker that you can get in your parties, the faster you're going to make money. So if you get parties booked by the 12th, you're going to get a paycheck this month on the 21st. So I had a consultant the other day sign up. She's like, really tight for money. And I'm like, look, if we get your party turned in, you're going to get a paycheck on the 21st. So you're going to be out $50 for just a few days. And she beat-feeded it, and she's ready to go. So that is kind of the key. Now, you don't have to book the 12th, but then if you don't, you're pushing your business a whole 10 days back. And really, it's better to jump in with 2 feet, let your recruiter help you run your first parties, and you'll be good to go. We are not going to say, hey, this is your business now, see ya. You are in business for yourself, but you are not by yourself when it comes to our team. So we're going to suggest, as soon as you start booking parties, you want to book the very first Friday that's the closest to you. And you might be thinking, well, what if I'm on a Thursday and I'm trying to book for Friday? You know what? If you have a motivated host, and I'll just say, hey, can you invite 200 people tonight or today? If they say absolutely, boom, I'm setting them up for tomorrow. Why wait? Strike the iron while it's hot. People are very impulsive. And so if they book a party and they're excited, let's get them in as tight as we can, as close as we can, because they are excited. So once you have your 4 parties booked, or as many parties as you can book for the 12th, then you'll start offering the 19th. And here's the thing, what you offer is what they take 90% of the time. And we have strategic words in place to ensure that will happen. So if I reach out to 10 people today to book parties for the 19th or the 20th or whatever the day is, most of them are going to take the date that I offer. There might be 2 or 3 that don't, but that's okay. Out of 10, 3 don't, no big deal, right? So you want to offer what you need, because oftentimes they're going to take what you offer. So let's flip the gears now, and we're going to talk about some rewards. So we've talked about the work. Now we're going to talk about what we're going to reap as a result of that work. So there are many, many rewards in your first 30, 60, 90, and 180 days. And not only are there rewards, meaning product-wise, but there are so many rewards cash-wise, and cash talk. So if you're married, this is the time to make sure that your husband is, or your wife is listening, because ultimately this is what talks to that spouse, is the money. They want to know, what are the possibilities, right? So again, we talked about 4 parties each week, and there's a systematic approach to this because we are at the mercy of our host, right? We want to encourage them to have the best parties possible, but that's all we can do. We can't make them invite the number of people that we recommend, and we can't make them invite at all. We can only motivate them and inspire them to hopefully do what we're encouraging. So 4 parties a week will work like this pretty much every week. You are going to have one party person, one party host that is just going to drop the ball. There's nothing you can do about it. She's not going to invite. She's not going to do anything that you say, or maybe she'll invite 10 people, which means she'll have 0 people in the party. So one party is just going to flop. So that's why we say, okay, you got to get 4 down. Because what if you had that one party and that was all you had? then it's like, this business doesn't work. It's too much work. And you're right. If your parties kept flopping, of course you would think that, right? Then you're going to have one person typically each week, every other week, that is going to join your team. As soon as you have somebody interested or somebody you think, yeah, she's kind of showing some signs or he's showing some signs, he's interested, don't try to navigate this by yourself. Get us on the chat with you, get our information so we can guide you through that process, and we will help you get that person signed up. Now, just like your recruiter or your director is not doing this coaching with you, meaning the training, you're not going to either. So it doesn't matter whether you know a ton about Pampered Chef or absolutely nothing about Pampered Chef. I was just talking to a girl today doing her training, and she's like, how many people can I recruit in my first week? And I'm like, oh yeah, this is super exciting, right? So she caught the vision right away. And then she stepped back and she's like, but what if I don't know how to coach them? And I'm like, you're not going to know. I'm going to do that for you. So my job as your recruiter director, as well as your recruiter and director, is to coach and train your new consultants. So I shouldn't say recruiter, but your director, that's their job, is to coach and train. That's why we get paid overrides and things like that, because they know we're doing a little bit of extras when it comes to that. So one party is going to flop, not going to work out at all. One party is likely to join your team, and two of those 4 parties will be submitted, meaning they'll go through, they're going to be submitted under your sales and so on. Sometimes you have 3 parties out of 4, sometimes you have 4 out of 4, but it's rare. Usually one party always flops. And of course, we never know what that party is. So let's take a look at why 4 parties a week is so, so important. Okay, so let's say this is my scenario on April 28th of this past month. So I think there's 12 parties here or 10 parties here, one of the two. Let's just say that I only had these 2 parties. 0, that's the host that didn't do anything that I asked. Well, actually she did, but she just didn't do enough. And then another party here that kind of did a little bit, but not really a lot, right? So if I only had those 2 parties, my commission from that week would have been $59.29. Too much work for not enough money, right? So when I say too much work is you're going to put the same amount of effort into those 2 parties that didn't work that you're going to put into parties that do work. So why not have more so the odds are in your favor, right? So here's an example. I think this is 9 parties. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 9 parties. Okay. So 9 parties in this particular week. So you can see the 2 top ones as well as this middle one here didn't do so well, right? So we're saying 3 parties out of 9 didn't do that great, but we have 6 parties that were pretty darn good, right? Or pretty average. Some of them are very average. So if I only had those 3 parties, I would have made $59, not enough for me. But because I had all of these other people working it, like I encouraged them, again, not all people are going to follow the process, but when they do, look at the results. So instead of $296 in sales, we now have $5,127 in sales in 1 week, right? So in that week, my commission just from my parties was $1,384. So I want you to pause for a minute. How many of you would be super excited if your very first week of business ended up being a $1,300 paycheck? Give me a quick hand raise. Yeah, right? I mean, what are you going to do? That's like pretty darn amazing, right? But it's actually average. It's not really that amazing. It's just the numbers are in your favor because you have enough parties. So this is perfect because this is 9 parties. So let's cut that paycheck in half. Let's say you say, oh gosh, Lorraine, I don't know if I can do 9 parties in my first week. I would agree with you. I didn't do 9 parties in my first week either. But my second month, I was doing 10 or 12 a week because so many people want to have parties. So let's say your paycheck, let's say you only did 4 parties in that week, right? And there were 4 decent parties. So instead of a $1,300 paycheck, I'm sure most of you would be pretty darn happy with a $750 paycheck, right? Yeah, right. That's a lot of extra money that most people could not even fathom as a possibility, but it is. And I'm not doing anything unique. I am doing exactly what I'm guiding you guys to do. I follow the boards to the T. I follow the system to the T. And that is that. I'm not perfect, certainly, but I follow it pretty darn close. Okay. And that's all you have to do is follow the systems that we have in place. So let's talk about the rewards as a result of the work that we just did. So here's an example of the new consultant selling rewards. So this is where you're going to get chances to earn lots and lots of products for free. So when you submit $500 in your first 30 days, you're going to get the brownie pan and the cake tester. $500 is usually accomplished easily in your first party as your launch party. So if you're having a launch party, you're going to hit that really, really quickly. If you're not, talk to your recruiter, make sure you have 4 parties in your first week, and you will definitely do it first week or 2. Then when you hit $1,250 in sales, this is where it gets really, really lucrative, especially since you guys just started. So you are going to get the summertime package for free. That is $750 in sales. I'm sorry, it was too small. $750 in sales, you will get this package here. That's easily going to happen in your first launch party. Then $1,250 in sales gives you the mixer for free. How many of you are excited to get the mixer? Let me tell you, I've had a KitchenAid mixer, the professional version, over $500. Pampered Chef trumps that KitchenAid mixer. I'm not kidding you. So it is a great, great tool. And to get it for free is pretty darn exciting, right? So usually in your first party, you are going to earn these 3 pieces. How? So if you haven't had a launch party, follow the system that your recruiter is going to give you. Make sure, and I know the system actually says to invite about 100 to 150 people. I completely disagree. I have my host focus on 200 to 300 people. Why? Kind of the thought process is this. If you tell somebody to do 10 push-ups, they'll probably accomplish 5 or 6. If you tell somebody to invite 200 people, they're probably going to invite 150. If you tell them to invite 300, they're probably going to invite 200. So when you tell them to invite 150, oftentimes they don't. So I try to get my host to invite 200 to 300 people, and a lot of them do it. Some of them invite 500 or more. So, but then some of them don't. So it's, again, it's all about the numbers. So just try to continue to think about it like that. Oh, sorry. So then at $2,500 in sales, you get a new skillet for free. And this is where I love this process, because you're going to be able to get all of our knives, the whole entire knife block set for free at $5,000 in sales in your first 90 days. So just to give you a quick example, the new consultant that I was just talking about, she did $5,000 in sales in 3 weeks, and she just followed the process. So 90 days is not necessarily needed, but it is there as a little comfort if you do need it. So then the second process is, oh, I don't know why that was duplicated, but let's go on to the next process. Okay, so what I wanted to show you is what happened in my very first month as a Pampered Chef consultant, an online Pampered Chef consultant when I came back in 2020. So my recruiter did a launch party for me, and then I booked 10 parties from my launch party, did those parties all in the month of April, and not all of them worked out. So I ended up turning in 8 of the 10. So my paycheck for those first 3 weeks was $2,111. And guys, my goal was only to make $1,000. I needed to make $1,000 a month so I could put extra money away so I can retire at 58 3/4 versus 69. That's what I'm slated to retire, because I was working Pampered Chef for 16 years, staying at home with my kids. So my retirement is way behind. But that's the new slated time frame, or the new slated amount, as a result of Pampered Chef. So I put away an extra $1,000 a month, which would have been absolutely unheard of had I not had this opportunity. So again, you can see here 8 parties, $2,111. Pretty darn excited when I got that paycheck. So my recruiter, Stacy, she says, okay, Lorraine, so you had 8 parties. How many people did you sign up? And I knew she knew. I didn't sign up anybody. So I said to her, I'm like, well, Stacy, I didn't sign anybody. I don't even know who I'm supposed to be signing. And she's like, well, what did your first host say when you asked her about the business? And I'm like, well, I didn't ask her. She's like, why? And I'm like, I don't know. I just didn't. She's like, all right, I'm going to hold your feet to the fire. Can I give you a challenge? And I'm like, all right, you know me, I'm up for a challenge. She's like, I'm going to give you the words to say. You send it to all of your hosts and anybody in the party who commented on recruiting posts. So if you had a party with us already, you know that usually in the evenings, we have recruiting and booking posts every single day. We have them trickled throughout because we want people to learn about our business without like being down your throat type of thing. So I went back to my parties. I ended up finding like 8 more people that had just commented on posts. She gave me the words to say, which you guys will have them as well in boards. I sent the words out. I sent the words out to all of my hosts, and 12 people signed up. I went from 0 to 12. And all I did was copy paste. And trust me, I was in contact with Stacy every single day for probably like 10 months. And I remember thinking to myself, oh my gosh, she's like, oh God, here comes Lorraine. But I'm telling you what she actually told me. She was like, heck yeah, here comes Lorraine, right? Because we know there's a lot of moving parts in this business, and you can't, well, you can do this by yourself, but you won't be as successful doing it by yourself. So we want to hear from you. We want to hear from you on a daily basis, asking us questions so you can build from each of your parties and feel successful every step along the way. So as a result of those new consultants signing up, I ended up getting an additional $1,500 bonus in my paycheck because of the next part of the rewards that I'm about to show you. So again, my goal was to make $1,000 a month. So I went out, did what Stacy said, booked some more parties, talked to more people about the business. Again, it's just copying and pasting information. And the results started getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And you know, strap on your seatbelt for this next paycheck, okay? But here are the rewards that you have right in front of you, the same rewards that I had. So every single time you share this business with somebody else, meaning copy paste, and I'm sure you guys know, like she was like, Lorraine, I know you have a best friend. I know you have several sisters, which she did know that. I know you have a brother. I know you have a mother. Why not ask those people? You just never know who might be interested. And I'm like, you know what? What's the worst they can tell me? The worst they can tell me is no. And it's what I thought anyway, but I ended up signing up my sister and my cousin, and I was really off and running at that point. I was like, okay, this is pretty simple, right? So right from the start, you're going to get a $100 cash bonus for every single consultant that joins your team. As soon as they submit $1,250 in sales, remember that usually happens in their first party, you get a $100 cash bonus. There's not many places you can get a $100 cash bonus for literally doing very, very little. You're also going to get 50 Pampered Chef dollars, and that goes into your Pampered Chef account so you can use on any other products, any other supplies that you want, totally free. So when I was talking to this new consultant today, she's like, so if I sign 15 consultants in my first month, does that mean $1,500? That's what it means. If we get them to submit their $1,250, that's a $1,500 commission. And I asked her, what would you do with that? And she told me. So you just have to take that kind of money and think about how you would use it in your home, and then it becomes real life, right? So in addition to that, Pampered Chef will take $3,000, and every one of you have $3,000 set aside with your name on it exclusively from the Pampered Chef. And this is how you earn that $3,000. It's over a 6-month period. So when you sign 5 people, and let me just tell you something that's so crazy when you think about these numbers. So somebody asked me the other day, they said, how many Pampered Chef consultants are in the nation? And the last count was like 62,000, which sounds like a lot, right? Well, 5 years ago, they did a study with direct sales, and they found that there were 72,000 Mary Kay consultants in Southern California. So when you think about Pampered Chef only has 62,000 nationwide, the statistic shows we've only tapped 17% of the market. And I've ran into 3 people this week who have never heard of the Pampered Chef. So there's tons and tons of opportunity out there. Mary Kay also requires that you have 30 consultants on your team to be a director. We ask for 5 people. Some people do that in their first week. Some people sign 30 people in their first week. It's a total choice. It's totally up to you by just simply asking. So when you become a director in the first 90 days of your business, you will get a $500 bonus from the Pampered Chef. That's huge. Like $500 could pay off a small credit card, could maybe put your kid in a camp for a couple of weeks in the summer, could pay off some debt, or maybe you just want to go shopping like a mad woman, right? $500 can be whatever you want it to be. Then when you hold that title, you still have those 5 people on your team, you hold that title for 3 more months, you will get another $500 bonus. Now, again, you just signed 5 people in 30 days, 3 days, 10 days, whatever it was. You're not going to stop that, right? You're going to continue that trend. So that next $500 is pretty much a shoe-in. And then when you find somebody else who wants to do the same thing that you're doing in your first 6 months, you're going to get a $1,000 bonus and another $1,000 bonus when you hold it for 3 more months. So the money that's on the table is exponential, $3,000 in your first 6 months. So this is how you can create that structure. So the cool thing is it doesn't all have to come from you. And we've had every structure situation on my director team. So let's say this is Katie. Katie signs Pat, Chris, Les, Jill, and Kim. And she does this in her first couple of weeks. She's a director. She gets $500 bonus, and she gets $100 for every single one of those people that submit their 1250. So now we're talking $1,000 bonus, right? And then we have Amber. Amber signs Pat, Chris, Les, and Jill, but Chris signs Kim. So now she's a director. And then we have Coley. Coley signs Pat, Chris, Les, and Pat signs Sue, and Les signs Kim. So any of these structures will work. And the funny thing is that when you sign a consultant, the fever is caught. And oftentimes people on your team catch the fever as well. So we actually have a lady on here. She's in her first 90 days of business, and she's about to hit these levels because she has this structure in place. She has the 3 and the 4, and she's waiting on 1 more, and she will be a director. So it happens very, very quickly with this intentionality. So let's talk about what happens when this director scenario can come into place. So remember, my first paycheck was $2,100, right? Stacy kind of held my feet to the fire. She knows how I like to be coached. And I said, just tell me what I got to do, right? So she's like, all right, if you follow this and you sign these consultants, your paycheck is at least going to double. I'm like, done deal, right? Well, my paycheck did not double. My paycheck went from $2,100 to $7,400 in my second month as a consultant. What would that do for you guys? I know you're on mute, but I'll just pretend like I'm hearing you because I know what that will do for most people, right? That can change the trajectory of your life. I mean, it changed mine completely. Like I had different goals and different thoughts, but when that kind of money started coming in and it came in consistently, because in 6 months of doing Pampered Chef, I made just under $50,000. That's a full-time job for many people. So, but it's very part-time work, but full-time income. So the sky is really the limit, and it's only limited to what you want. There are no limits otherwise. So let's finish up this call today with the step 4. And step 4 is running your parties. So here's the question for you. And I know you guys are on mute, so I'm just going to run through this. But the question is, if you think about this step is how to run your parties, right? So if you don't have parties, you don't need this step. And that is the point of me sharing that. What step you need is only step 3. Step 3 is booking your parties. Until you have those 8 parties in the next 2 weeks, you really don't need step 4 because your recruiter and director are going to help you run your first week of parties, and then you'll be ready for step 4. So step 4 is not important until you have parties and you have those consistently. So what is step 4? Step 4 is setting up your first parties. So we're just going to briefly touch this because again, you won't need it until you have several parties on your calendar. But this says complete these 5 steps in order. That's super important because there's a logical process that we've put here. So one step builds from the next step. Okay. So complete these 5 tasks in order the Sunday before your first party. So let's say your first week of parties is going to be on the 12th. That's why your recruiter is going to help you because we've already passed Sunday, right? So then next Sunday or the Sunday coming up, Mother's Day, will be where you want to start these when you're starting your parties for the 19th. So you want to try to get those 4 parties booked for the 12th and 4 for the 19th. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to create your Facebook business page. You're going to click this link. It's going to give you a couple-minute video and you're good to go. Second step, create Post My Party. This is the system that runs all of those posts in our party. It's free for the first 30 days, and then it's $9.95. You cannot compare the price to what it does for you. It takes you off the hook. It allows you to only be in your party for a few minutes a day, and for it to run efficiently without you in that regard. But you can't not be in your party. I don't spend more than 5 minutes in each party per day. It's very intentional 5 minutes, but I do spend 5 minutes. This is going to teach you how to edit the template. So what is a template? The template is what directors make for you. So every day, about 8 posts are going to go into all of your parties at the exact same time, 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 4, 6, and 8. Okay, all the times that you're having your parties, they start on a Friday and on a Wednesday. So we created this template for you. So you can imagine every one of us, like many of the directors, have about 6 to 20 parties per week. So that means that we have about 1,000 people getting the same template every single day. So that sends flags to Facebook. So that's why you have to take each of the posts that we put in this template and you have to edit at least 1 sentence. If you don't, you could go into Facebook jail. So it's super imperative. You don't have to change the whole thing, but at least 1 sentence for every post. But here's the great piece of this. You only have to do this 1 time every 2 months. So the template we just created is for all of May and all of June. So you'll edit it 1 time, and then you'll just disperse it out to all of your parties in May and all of your parties in June. So that video is about 4 minutes long. It'll teach you how to do that. Then step 5 is to set your party up on Consultants Corner. Consultants Corner is Pampered Chef's website. That's about a 2-minute video. Create your party on Facebook. Depending upon how many parties you have is how long it will take you. When I first started, it probably took 20 minutes, 15 minutes per party. Now, today I set up 13 parties that are going to start on Friday. It took me less than 30 minutes. So it's just a learning curve that you'll figure out as you continue to do more. Then we have the pictures that you need for your party, the post that you need to put in your party. Everything is here right at your fingertips. Then we're going to teach you how to take that template and connect it to your Facebook parties. That's another quick minute video. And then run your parties is here, which we just talked about setting up your parties. So running your parties is step 5. And so you can start working on running your parties once your parties start. So again, you don't need all the steps. They're kind of systematically put into a certain place, so they make sense at certain spots. And then it says here, click here to use the tracker. We've given you the tracker, so you don't really need to do that. Now, here's a little piece that's good to know. Does your Facebook business page look different than what is on step 6? Once you get to step 6, if it looks different than what we're sharing with you through that video, you'll want to use this link instead. There's 2 versions of Facebook, Classic and a new Facebook. You don't know which one they're going to give you. Oftentimes, as newer consultants come on, most of them are getting the newer Facebook, but you can actually change to the Classic version. So it doesn't really matter. It's just a little bit different look and a little bit different process, but we got you covered. So either way it goes, everything will be right here for you. And then that's really the end of our training. So I want to just recap just a couple quick things, and then we are done. So first and foremost, you are going to get this show-based tracker. This is going to be shared with you, your recruiter, and your director. We want everything to be in one place for you guys. So this is the beginning, the new consultant tracker. Everything is sitting here for you that your recruiter is going to go over. Then when you get off the call tonight, go on Facebook. Look how many friends you have. I talked to somebody today, this is a good point to actually share. If you don't have very many friends on Facebook, you want to expand that very quickly. Friend about 10 new people per day for the next 30 days. One of my directors, she had 55 people as friends. She didn't use Facebook that often when she started. And she's like, Lorraine, that's my #1 reason. I don't think I can do this because I don't have enough Facebook friends. So I said, okay, I want you to friend 10 to 15 people every day for the next 30 days. No joke. She was the #1 consultant in the entire company for brand new consultants in their first 90 days. So I shared with her what she needed to do. She did it. And as a result, she got incredible, tremendous results. So I would say if you have less than 1,000 friends, start doing that 10 per day, 10 per day, 10 per day until you start building up that friends list. It's really going to help you along the way. And it's going to actually bring in people that you probably weren't even thinking about. So all your booking people are going to go here. Then I want you to, let me go back here real quick. So right over here, if you need a couple of ideas on how to even expand beyond Facebook, because not everybody has Facebook, think about the Franks list. This means all of your friends, all of your relatives, all of your acquaintances, all of your neighbors, all of their kids that you know, are people that you know through your kids. The S stands for miscellaneous, and then all of your Facebook friends. So you will easily be able to get 150 people on this list if you wanted to tonight. It's really, really that simple. You can actually even download your Facebook list too. So there are some options there. So then what I want you to do is I want you to really think outside of the box here. So when you're using this booking tracker, you might say, well, you know what, my friend Lynn, I think she would have a party for me, but she also might be a potential consultant and not even know it because XYZ, right? Maybe you know she needs extra money. Maybe you know she loves to cook. Maybe you know she loves the products. Maybe you know she loves that direct sales. Like there's something about her that you want to put her on this list. Don't think about it. Just put her on the list and we'll talk more about her and how to actually share this with her. So anyone you can think of, I'm going to challenge you to get at least 20 people on this list. You get 20 people on this list, you're going to have at least 2 or 3 of those people sign up in your very first couple of weeks of business. And that's super exciting. That's extra income. That's extra excitement. That's a buddy system. That's just makes everything much, much better. So these are going to be your 2 spots, the booking tracker, the recruiting tracker. And then once you start getting parties in, this is where we're going to help your parties become unbelievable parties. We're going to actually take your parties. So let's say you have your first party here. Your first party is on the 12th. And your party's name is Lynn. And Lynn invited 154 people. And as a result, 25 people joined. And as a result, 8 people, whoops. Oh, well, we'll fix that. 8 people placed an order. There were 20 or 18 people that were in the party, but didn't end up ordering. We ended up with a $500 party. There were 2 people that commented on the recruiting post. 1 person had a question. 8 people were part of the host booking challenge. Ordering guests that booked. Let's say 2 of them booked, not ordering guests that booked. 1, host interest in the business, maybe. Recruit leads from the post, 5. So that's how you want to do every party. And then this is what's going to happen. When we see all of these numbers, we actually can create this sophisticated kind of pie chart or graph, and it's going to show us, okay, on average, she's having 100 people invited to every party. So we know we need to work on that. Or on average, she's getting $500 in sales. Okay, so how can we tailor that up? Or you're not getting any bookings. Why is that? Or you're getting 10 bookings per party. Why is that? So this is such a helpful tool for us to be able to do for you. And it's super exciting for us because we can actually see everything live. And then we can actually say, okay, I know exactly what you need to do to make this aspect of your business stronger. And it's just like that tandem, that team atmosphere that really, really helps promote your business. And then we're kind of locked together through that time frame and helping you build your business to what you are looking for. So finally, if you did not fill out the survey is in the chat. If you can go ahead and fill out the survey, that's going to be super helpful for us. And then ultimately what we can also use to kind of coach and train you. So I have a few extra minutes. If anybody has any questions, if you want to just come off of mute and I can answer any questions for you. Any questions for anybody or from anybody? Okay, so the last thing I'll leave you with is this. We know right now you probably feel like you just opened up a puzzle without any pictures on it, right? And this puzzle is scattered. Yes, Joy, I'm with you, right? I felt the same way. I'm like, holy smokes, this is all exciting, but, right? Like, where am I going to find this? How am I going to find that? Okay, I'm going to be honest with you. Your first 2 weeks are going to feel like that. There's no getting around it. I have done 5,000 parties with Pampered Chef, and I still felt the same way. So just know it's normal. Just know you're going to need us and we are going to help you. So around week 2, all of a sudden, these puzzle pieces are going to start becoming clear. And then by like week 3, you're going to be like, oh, there's the middle. Here's the end. By week 4, you're like, boom, that puzzle's done. And truly, if you follow the processes that we have, you will feel like that. And it's just like this uplifting feeling. And all of a sudden, the questions die down a little bit. You're feeling more confident. You know where to find things. But again, we are here for you every step of the way. We expect a ton of questions and we expect you to feel a little like, what in the world, right? But we will help you navigate through this and you will start to feel more comfortable around week 2 to week 4. That is a promise. So we're super excited for you guys. If you have any questions, again, we are here for you. If you don't have any other questions, we'll end the call for tonight. But we're here for you every step of the way. So thank you guys so much for your time and we're super excited for you. Have a great night.